job is to give speech talks. I profess for a living. But to profess to a group of forward-thinking, high-tech networking individuals, it's a great opportunity. I don't have to go back and say an autonomous car is actually going to happen. I can say, you all know that. But now I can dive into the details about what's going to happen. And Chris's speech was fantastic. Thank you very much. It gives me the opportunity to capitalize on what Orlando offers. We got the high-tech corridor going between Tampa to Orlando to Daytona Beach. It's an exciting time to be here. I haven't been here very long. It's my first experience down here for the last couple of years, and just the rapid pace and the support that Florida offers for autonomous connected vehicles is amazing. As a matter of fact, last year, the Florida Senate authorized House Bill 727, which said that you can drive an autonomous vehicle on the roads. Not a problem. Right now, as we are speaking, started at 9 o'clock this morning, House Bill 725 is before the Florida board. The video will be available. I'm going to watch it. It should be funny. 725 basically says that you don't have to have a driver's license to be an autonomous vehicle. The autonomous vehicle itself is the licensing authority. So if it has a problem, they will ticket the car, not the driver. So Florida is very, very forward-thinking. There's a couple states out there that are forward-thinking. Florida is really saying, hey, the technology is coming. We need to have the laws and infrastructure in place. And that's the other one I'm going to hit, the infrastructure, smart cities. It's not just about an automated vehicle. An automated vehicle that can drive itself with a LiDAR and cameras, that's kind of neat. But it needs to be able to connect. It needs to be able to talk to the other cars. It needs to be able to talk to the smart city. So we'll hit all that. It's a very interesting time, and it's exciting. I can give this, I can go to a conference about autonomous vehicles almost every day, but definitely every weekend. It's a great time. All right, so a lot of people think about different things when they think about autonomous vehicles. Maybe you think about the Uber model with the big old LiDAR on top and cameras and ride sharing. Some people think about that, where it's more of a Tesla model, where you don't have a LiDAR anymore and it's a bunch of cameras. But whatever you think about, maybe you think about that. That's kind of what I think about when I think about autonomous vehicles, although he still has a handle which I disagree with. But your vision is what's going to shape the future. And your experience is what's going to shape the future. So that's the third challenge I would give to you, is that it's not just the technology. It's not just the legislation, but it's public perception. And we need to go out and train people that these are safe and they can work with your 16-year-old son that's driving, and it can operate safely. So the opportunities are great. This is a little bit of an eyesore, so I'm going to read it for the people at the back. I'll give you the slides at the end. But it's the major trends in the automobile industry. And if you look at the convergence of all the trends of the automobile industry, the automated vehicle, the connected vehicle, kind of sits at the center. Think about all the things that automobile manufacturers are pushing towards, which is energy efficiency with EV vehicles. If you think about safety, you think about digital connectivity of the smart vehicles with GPS, digital short-range communication, wireless networks, and you think about shared mobility. Obviously, that's a big one down here in Florida with our aging population down here. We have a lot of people who can't drive themselves. So automated vehicles and shared mobility is a big one. If you look at all of that, the shared automated vehicle is at the center. It kind of hits on all parts of it, so it's an interesting time. I will hit this pretty quickly. I normally have to hit this very slowly so people understand what it takes to drive a car autonomously, but I'll just hit this from two different perspectives. And for this audience, I would think about opportunity. I mean, when I say challenge, normally people go, oh, that's a challenge. But to business owners and business leaders, it's an opportunity. Those challenges give you ways to say, hey, how can I apply my knowledge or my business or my technology to solve these problems and bring it to the consumer? So obviously you need a bunch of things going back. I could take you all the way back to Leonardo da Vinci, who designed a self-driving cart in 1492. Way back then, all the way through autopilots in the 1930s, all the way up to the Predator from General Atomics. I flew those in the war. So long-range unmanned aircraft, all the way up until about 2006. We were kind of on a steady pace, increasing. Then we hit 2006 in the automobile industry. taken off from there. From crash assistance, automated braking, lane assist, GPS. If you look at the pace of innovation in automobiles from 2006 to 2016, it would take me 6 or 7 slides of many, many pictures to show you everything that's going on to take us to the point where we can say very confidently that in 2021 you'll have a level 5 autonomous vehicle on the road. Probably have to pay a pretty good price for it. It'll probably cost you a lot of money. But in the next 3 or 4 years, you'll be able to buy a autonomous vehicle and have it drive on the road. But obviously, a lot of this is pretty neat from an educational perspective too. I'm not going to give, I can give the speech educationally too, but I'm going to take it more to the technology side. I can teach all of these sensors, and I can teach all of these integrations in the software and the hardware to my students. And it's really easy to motivate them. They love coming to my class, and they get to play with autonomous vehicles. But it's great for education too. Think about all the sensors, and this is just, as I said, autonomous vehicles. If you think about all the sensors from the side view to the back view to the front view, they all require different sensors. If I use a LiDAR and it goes out pretty far, that's great. However, how are you going to work? How are you going to deal with night? How are you going to deal with reflectivity? What about a glass building or that white truck that's very reflective? Okay, well, if you use cameras only, well, how much can you tell distance? I've got a 3D camera and a stereoscopic vision camera on my self-driving vehicle. That's great, but it's not as accurate as a LiDAR. Maybe you need to integrate both. So all of these technologies that surround the car to give it a real human view is all very important, but it lacks one thing. It lacks my car talking to your car, talking to his smart city, talking to his smart building, to talk about a smart, connected environment. All right, so what would I tell my students that they need to think about when they're designing an automated vehicle? These are all the things, and again, these are neat opportunities for companies to apply the next generation technology. We're not talking about Ford or Volvo or Saab or BMW. We're talking about a myriad of companies, and I'll hit that in just a second. But it's obviously digital, redundant, reliable sensors. Something, and as a pilot, I've flown many different airplanes, we always say something will go wrong. So when we're talking about automated vehicles, please think that something will go wrong. You need a backup system. You need a reliable system. And if you don't, you better have it be fail-safe. If that car has a problem, it better pull off to the side of the road. So those are things to think about. You obviously need wireless networks. It's not just Wi-Fi. You need Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, digital short-range communication. You need to be able to talk to the stoplight. You need to be able to talk to the railroad crossing. You need to be able to talk to the building. You need to be able to talk to the 5 cars in front of you, where the 5 cars in front of you can tell you that there's an oil slick or a pothole. And that needs to go to his smart city that tells the traffic management system that we have a problem. So all that needs to be bundled in. We need navigation systems. We need servers and software. We need those NVIDIA processors. I've got an NVIDIA CPU, GPU, quad core in my autonomous vehicle. We actually have the students build an autonomous vehicle. It's pretty cool, but that needs to be upgraded, and that needs to be redone and backed up. We also need, and I'm going to hit some tracks, thank you for not stealing my thunder. We need testing and infrastructure. We need a way to test these vehicles. We need infrastructure, and we need everything that goes with not just the vehicle, but ways to get there and move forward. All right, so potential pros and cons again. I'm not going to hit this big for this audience. Other audiences, I would have to say, let me convince you about an autonomous vehicle. I think y'all get it. We're there. We're going there. Let's embrace it. But obviously, for the Florida people out there, reduce stress, reduce driver cost. We have 39,000 deaths per year on the roads today. Over 90% of those are distracted drivers, your cell phone. All right? Well, if we can get rid of that, that's a big safety plus. What about mobility? My mom can't drive anymore, but maybe a car could pick her up. What about reduced parking? He doesn't have to worry about parking in a smart city anymore. I drop myself off, I push my little cell phone and say, park yourself. Parking spaces are over 50% reduced. You don't need all those big, wide parking spots anymore. You have these small parking spots. You get up in the morning, you push your cell phone, you say, car, come get me. As you walk down, it's there and it's available. Road capacity, the distance between cars goes way down, so I-4, which is normally a parking lot during certain times of day, now becomes a little bit more useful, a lot more useful. And then shared vehicles. I'm not sure on that last one. I don't know if it's y'all, but I can get there with the technology on automated vehicles, but how long is it going to take for Americans to give up their vehicle? That's not going to happen. All right, but in the future it might. Uber, Lyft, they may have something going, so we'll see. But there's also costs. And one of those that we're just talking about, the bottom bullet, is what he hit, and I think it's one of the biggest. We need to change the focus on how we're structuring cities, how we're placing our bills, how we're placing our money as a community. So we need to get ready for this next revolution. All right, again, another ISO, we need to understand the different components. Yes, sir?
Question for you. If you flip back on the benefits and costs, because so much like many of the folks in the industry, I travel a lot in and out of a million cities, rental cars, and all the new laws and speed limits, and just recently, or maybe a little bit while ago, Waze has a miles per hour on the thing. So because signs are not every 5 seconds, right? Now in a new city, you could go 10, 20 minutes and not even know what the speed limit is. So I like just that little thing to say, oh, it's 65 here, and you're doing 66, it turns red on your Waze. So little things like that I enjoy, and I love this whole concept, and I think about it often. But have you looked at the impact to insurance companies, garages, repairs? I mean, how the impact to the massive amount of people who quote unquote benefit from things, fender benders, drinking and driving, police. Yeah.
Right, so there's a couple things that go to that. One is you talked about jobs and you talked about the insurance industry. So the insurance industry, along with the legislatures, needs to catch up to the fact that this is coming. Let me give you a scenario. The autonomous vehicle, which is really smart, is coming upon something that happened, and an accident is unavoidable. You can't say an autonomous vehicle is always going to halt all accidents. How does it decide which car to hit? Does it actually take a sensor path and say, there's one person in that car, there's a baby in that car, which way do I go? Wow, now the insurance companies have a much bigger issue. And then, since this car is not just your car, it's everybody's car, because everybody has a component that within the car. Is it your sensor? Is your company going to be sued? Is it your LiDAR company that's going to be sued? Is it your engine company that's going to be sued? So the insurance industry really has to catch up on what's going on. And then let's talk about jobs. A lot of people are very, very resistant to this because it's going to change the nature of jobs. I'm not going to go into the social science of a revolutionary change in society, but that's something we really need to think about too. If you're going to change the nature of trucking, well then you just cost a lot of truckers their job. If you're going to change the name of taxi drivers, you just lost a lot of jobs there. So jobs have to change, but the technology is going to make that happen very, very quickly. So that's a great point. These are, I would have drawn the 5 big cogs that I would say are things to think about when you talk about technologies. One is